All right, hello. Normally in class, I would do this. I would stand up at the front of class and we would walk through the first paragraph together before you read the next few paragraphs and then move on to finish the chapter and the following chapters, etc. Given our circumstances, we can't do that. But I do want to read the first chapter of this book because um, unless you read a lot, I don't think you're going to be familiar with the way in which O'Brien writes, which is basically a cyclical style. He comes back to certain events over and over and over through the story. And as he does that, he adds to them. Um, it's not just like one or two events throughout the book. Like there's kind of a system of events, and each, I guess, almost like each chapter triad or each like four chapters, you kind of get a series of events that he focuses on and then he moves forward. And they all build together throughout the story to come to what I think is it's not a mind bending conclusion, but it's something that I think means a lot to students every year. I don't know if it's every student's favorite book. In fact, I doubt it's every student's favorite book, but a lot of students end up liking this book a lot. It takes a little bit of effort at first to get into the style, but once you get into the style and start understanding why the story is a circle, why it spins rather than moves forward like an arrow, like time's arrow as we perceive it, I think you start understanding the book really quickly and you understand some pretty heavy things, um, and can see how they play out through the novel. So I'm going to read the first paragraph. I'm going to point some things out that I think are substantial. I'm going to use those four questions that I asked you to look at in the notes. So the four things you should do when you're reading all the time, mainly, write down what happens, what year is it or what time period, what characters are in the story right now, and what forces or themes do you see at play. If you want to really get into it right away, look at the five summative questions I put up there. Okay. Um, One of those is always going to be addressed as he's writing. The whole novel is about addressing these ideas. Okay. So we're at about 3 minutes into the video. Let me get to this. If you're paying close attention in the background there, the blue picture is a movie poster that I ordered from a guy in Poland last year. He makes alternate movie posters, and that one is to Inception. For those of you that watched Inception, that's Cillian Murphy. So he's the guy whose head they're trying to get into. I think it's a cool poster. This is part of the work I did during COVID. None of that was there before we were quarantined to our home. All right. Anyways, let me get to the first paragraph here. First Lieutenant Jimmy Cross carried letters from a girl named Martha, a junior at Mount Sebastian College in New Jersey. They were not love letters, but Lieutenant Cross was hoping, so he kept them folded in plastic at the bottom of his rucksack. In the late afternoon, after a day's march, he would dig his foxhole, wash his hands under a canteen, unwrap the letters, hold them with the tips of his fingers, and spend the last hour of light pretending. And I underline that word pretending, and I just ask why? Why? What is he pretending? He would imagine romantic camping trips into the White Mountains in New Hampshire. So there you get an idea what he's pretending. He's in war, and look what he's thinking about. He would sometimes taste the envelope flaps, knowing her tongue had been there. More than anything, he wanted Martha to love him as he loved her. But the letters were mostly chatty, elusive on the matter of love. She was a virgin, he was almost sure. She was an English major at Mount Sebastian, and she wrote beautifully about her professors and roommates in midterm exams, about her respect for Chaucer and her great affection for Virginia Woolf. She often quoted lines of poetry. She never mentioned the war. And I put a star there because now we're kind of getting at it. This is why he's reading the letters. This is a big part. She never mentioned the war except to say, Jimmy, take care of yourself. The letters weighed 10 ounces. They were signed Love, Martha, but Lieutenant Cross understood that love was only a way of signing and did not mean what he sometimes pretended it meant. There's that word, pretended. Okay, so he's imagining, he's pretending. At dusk, he would carefully return the letters to his rucksack. Slowly, a bit distracted, he would get up and move among his men, checking the perimeter. Then at full dark, he would return to his hole and watch the night and wonder if Martha was a virgin, because Cross is a little weird. Okay. He's pretending and he's a little obsessed. So, again, things I'm noticing here. What happens? Cross thinks about a girl that he loves who doesn't love him back. That's basically it. I mean, that's really all he's doing at an explicit level. He's thinking about her, who she is. He knows that she doesn't love him back, but he still pretends otherwise. Now, just follow the way I'm thinking. You can ask yourself why. Why does he pretend to do this when he knows, he definitely knows because it says it right in the text, that she doesn't love him back, and that when she signs love, that it's just a way of signing, not a literal thing that she means. Okay, well, you can figure this out if you start looking at the theme. So we know what happens. That's the first thing we should look for in our notes. Cross is just pretending. Okay, what year is it? Well, we don't know. It's Vietnam. We assume it's the late 60s. What characters are in it? Cross, and then by reference through Cross, that's my son Malcolm, Martha. So we only have two characters to start. There will be more, obviously, through the chapter. And then the last part, what force or theme are we seeing? It's like, well, Cross, one, these are the things that Cross carries. So you have the explicit thing that he carries, the letters, but those letters represent something. Okay. There's something implicit here in the letters. Okay. And it's love. Okay. So you have the concrete thing that he carries, the letters, which weigh 10 ounces, and then you have the abstract thing he carries, love. And what you're going to see throughout the novel is that these abstract things that they carry have a much more profound impact on them throughout the story. Memory is one of these abstract things, so pay attention to that as you go through the novel. What am I noticing here? This is all you have to do as you read. What am I noticing? Well, I'm noticing, he's obsessed with Martha. Okay, he's in love with Martha. Well, why is he thinking about him? He's a lieutenant. He should be protecting his soldiers. And, the implicit thing that I see is that, well, he's using memory to escape. Okay. Cross uses memory. He uses these letters. You're going to notice in this chapter, there's a character called Ted Lavender who uses drugs. It's like, well, yeah, Lavender uses barbiturates, which are downers, and that calm him. But characters have other ways of escaping the war mentally. Okay. Cross does it by imagining. All right. And this is the first paragraph. We don't know where this is going. We don't know the impact it's going to have, but it's important to see these things. And that's why I wanted to do this reading. Good luck. I'm bummed that, the rest of the year is canceled, at least, in person. So we'll try to get through this. If any of you are interested in doing, a hangout where, we can have some, I guess you would call it social interaction, just let me know and I can set that up. If not, have a good day.